Also, at school, I wouldn't eat all day long. I refused to eat, which scared my teachers. Sometimes, I would drink milk. That's the only thing that I would accept. So, what would be helpful in situations or environments where I am refusing to eat is to understand that it has something to do with social anxiety, and let me eat away from everyone else. Like, in another room. Example, if you all eat in the kitchen, maybe set me up in the living room. If all kids eat in the cafeteria, let me eat in the classroom. And if this still doesn't work, what can help is to just give me milk, especially warm milk, or those drinkable yogurts. If I refuse to eat, it's a form of social anxiety associated with solid foods in certain environments. I will most likely accept liquids, such as milk, and drinkable yogurts. So, try that. Liquids that I can drink are not as scary. But solid foods, I'm terrified to eat them at school, or church, or anywhere away from my home. I don't eat in restaurants. If church has breakfast, I will not eat there with them. What is helpful is when they prepare a plate for me to bring home. Solid foods can be scary at school and church, or anywhere in public. Liquids are not really scary. Since we're on the topic of foods, most of what I eat needs to be cut in little pieces. This makes it easier to chew and swallow. It's better if apples and steak are cut. If I'm not able to cut something, or if I struggle to cut it, you can help me by cutting it for me. Some foods I could choke on, like celery, asparagus. So, what is helpful is to cook celery and to cut it extremely tiny. The problem with celery and asparagus is that they make strings. Bacon makes strings too. And I can't eat popcorn. It stays stuck in my throat, and it's too dangerous. If you make popcorn, I will not eat it. What is helpful is to suggest snacks that I'm able to swallow properly. Example, little goldfish crackers, chips, yogurt, apple sauce. What is helpful is when I know in advance what will happen. I have a calendar. I like to be told in advance about who is coming over, and when, appointments, changes in schedule, all that, so that I have time to put it on my calendar and know that it is coming. At church, I usually stay with the same person during Mass, and she brings me to communion, but if she's not there, there's someone else that I stay with. But, once these two ladies happened to be absent on the same day, what was helpful is that other people figured out who was going to bring me to communion, and then someone else brought me. At church, what really helps is for someone to hold my hand to bring me to communion. Walking in a line of people can be stressful, and I may struggle to know when to walk, when to stop. So, I need guidance. If I happen to be at church, let's say during the week, and I don't have someone to stay with to lead me, I would sit right in front of the very first bench, so that when communion time comes, I don't need to walk in a line. The priest can come directly to me, because would be in front already, and that is helpful. If it's a church that uses a communion rail, I will need to be guided to walk in line. You can hold my hand, and then when we arrive at the rail, I really need to be told to kneel. And I will need to be told to get back up when the time comes, because I will not know by myself when it's time for me to get back up. At church, on Ash Wednesday, I went to the hallway, and then eventually, someone came to see me, and stayed with me in the hallway. I liked that. Also, Once we had the blessings of the throats at church. I had no idea what was going on. Someone explained it and showed me what they were doing, and then we went together. That was very helpful. I liked that. At church, from time to time, someone has checked my forehead to see if I have a fever. I think that's nice. I like that. But sometimes I'm frozen and not sick. I may just be confused or nervous, but it's good to check anyways. At church, it's helpful when someone finds the pages in the songbook and points at the words for me to follow along. So, basically, people at this church are very good with me, and it works out. At home, what is helpful is when my mom or Randy cuts food for me, especially meats. It's hard for my hands to cut some foods. It hurts my hands. Also, I like when they do my hair and tie my aprons. Andy is able to open things for me that I can't, such as children's Tylenols, and that helps. I take children's chewable medicine because it's too difficult for me to swallow pills. I could choke on them. But if I would be very sick and need to take something stronger, what would help is if you crush pills for me and mix it in with milk. I like when me, my mom, and Andy are all downstairs, having lots of discussions, and I like when my mom explains to me things about autism, so that I can understand better my own condition. My mom has always talked to me about autism, for as long as she has known that I have it. And that is helpful. It helps me to understand myself, and helps me to understand that I'm not just odd, but there's something going on in my brain. On the internet, there's debates about, should parents tell their autistic child that he's autistic? I'd say, yes, tell him. Would you tell your child with diabetes that he has diabetes, to help him to understand what he is going through and how he needs to eat? Well, telling your autistic child in a way to help him learn about himself and cope and manage is good. My mom has always told me, and look, now I make videos. I like when my mom and Andy goes camping, because I stay home with my cats, and it's quiet, and I'm in full control of my environment, which I like. Although, they need to cook for me before leaving. And I don't answer the door to strangers. I would love to get in with the proper support and services, so that I can live in my own place, with staff members coming to assist me. That would be helpful because I could be in full control of my environment, with assistance in my own home, and not need to be around my mom's schedule, which really stresses me out. Her lifestyle and grandson babysitting is too much for me. So, what would be helpful is to put me in a proper SIL placements, with proper assistance, so that my mom can babysit her grandchild, without overwhelming my ears. Of course, he's a great baby, and I don't dislike him. Sometimes, it's fun to play with him. He loves me. He's always hugging me. But, it's a lot. I wish I wouldn't need to be stuck in my mom's environment and schedule. And my cats also don't like babies and toddlers. It would be nice for my cats too, if we could have our own place. Sure, I can wear noise-cancelling headphones, but they hurt after a while. My ears have been feeling strange on and off for a few days. I think I wear these too much, and it's causing other problems. But I don't have a choice. If I don't wear them, I'll get too scared. So, if I'd live in my own place, I wouldn't need to wear these, and my ears could heal. If you ask me a question, Give me time to answer before asking another question. It is helpful to ask me questions that I can simply answer by a yes or a no, especially if I don't have my iPad. Give me time to process what you tell me, and make sure I understood. Sometimes, I totally miss out on the concept, and I understand something totally different than what you wanted to tell me. Also, it's very helpful for me if you repeat to me what you think I'm saying. I made a video about this. Please repeat to me almost everything that I tell you. If I write, Emily went outside, then you can repeat that, Emily went outside. To repeat after me is a good way of having conversations with me. If you don't repeat, I may think that you are not understanding. Please repeat after me, it's helpful. Sometimes, at church, I point at letters from the songbook to say something. It's very helpful when you repeat each letters that I point at. This way, I will know that you saw the proper letter. I like when people speak to me with a soft, calm voice. I like when people speak to me. I like when people can show me that they understand what I say, or when they acknowledge that they understand how I'm feeling. I like when people are able to listen if I say how I'm feeling, but without giving me a comment, opinion, or advice. But you can repeat what I told you so that I can know that you understood. For example, if I say, I'm scared to go to church because I don't want to lose Emily. You can say, you're scared to lose Emily, I understand that. And other times, silence on your part is better. Sometimes, it's helpful when someone remains silent after I say something. So, either repeat what I say, acknowledge that you know how I'm feeling, or remain silent. I like painting, playing the organ, composing music. Learning Portuguese. I love cats, nature, trees, grass, flowers. I love to spend the summers outside with my cats. I love to stare at little bugs and stress out ants. Well, I don't hurt them, I just scare them a bit by softly touching them with maybe a piece of grass, and then I watch them run away. I like to wear prairie dresses and aprons, like kids in the 1800s, or I like aprons and dresses, like kids in the 50s era. We have a new seamstress. I like pink, purple, and yellow. I like many things that kids like.